All right, and let me start it. So on your screen, you will have a typical receipt from a store. If you go to Walmart or any grocery store, and this one is a small appliance store, you have this receipt. How do you create that as a programmer? Now, as I told you, as a programmer, we need to modularize. Modularize. To modularize is look for nouns. Look for nouns. All right. And also, as a programmer, you work with other part of the programmer. For example, these probably need a database programmer to keep a database for products. For products. All right. So, as some of you already identified for me, from this piece of paper, we saw invoice, we saw address, we saw description item, we saw price, quantity, total, we saw toaster, and we also see these and also amount due. So that, and we also can recognize we have invoice, we have address, we have a line item, because these actually every you receive will have a table, and each table has a line item. And the line item right here, we recognize I probably need something from the database. Something from the database will be the toaster and the unit price. So that probably is from a product. Okay, that's from a product. And we also notice here, okay, so that's a product. And let's see right here. Okay, so on the product, this is product here. In your product here, there's a line item. This is a line item. Right? So, so I have a line item here. Here. In this line item, we notice we have a product. Toaster, $29.95 here. And I also ask you guys, also ask you, what do you think? The 3 and the $89.85? Do you think the 3 and $89.85 was in a database? Yes or no? No. It will really depend on your customer. The customer buy 3, you got $89 based on the price times 3. So now you also need to do some calculation. How about this total amount due? Will that be on the database? No, because it will be based on the purchase of each customer. When I finish, I added 3. Is that right? Yes or no? So now based on that information, we can see here right now. So I really have a invoice, address, line item, product, a description, and amount due right here. And let's analyze a little bit more. Right here. Is that okay? So hair dryer, car vacuum, these are the product. Is that right? Is that product? Right? So, and so this description about this item about toaster and hair dryer, now we are going to call description. We don't call item right now, because in your database you probably, because that's a name of your product, right? So if you need if you need a product, right now you probably can tell you probably need a product class, right? So I want to ask you now, a product class, okay, need what? A product class need item. We're going to call description, okay? Item description. How about that? Okay, need description. What else? Product class. A toaster, that's a name description, but a toaster also need what? Unit price. Is that right? Unit price. Price. Perfect. So that's a product class. All right. So you already know that. Okay, a little bit now. Right now, we already know that. All right. So product class, we done that. So we got. So the product class, you already find the attribute for me right now. So anybody, the attribute for the product class will be description and price. All right. Let's take a look more right now. All right. So let's take a look. Let's take a look a line here. All right. I have a toaster. So when customer purchase a toaster, scanner scan through it, toaster, and they buy three. And total here. So can you tell me here, this one I want to tell here in this line item, all right? So inside this line item, I actually have a class and have an input from the scanner and have a calculation. Is that true? All right. In this line item, can you take a look at the line item? I actually have a class and have a user input and have a calculation. Okay, for this line item here, every single line item I have a class. I have a user input. The user input is from the scanner. It's not your input. It's from the scanner. From the when they ring to 3 times, bing bing bing. That's 3 times, bing. That's 1 time. All right, and calculation. So who can tell me on the line item here? Can anyone identify what's that class? What's the class inside the line item? No, toaster and price add together is what? Toaster and price. All right. A class. What's that class we just decided to call it? Who can tell me? Product class. All right. So we got a class right now. We also need a user input. When you go to buy a grocery store, every item goes through, that's 1. So this toaster goes through 3 times. So what is the user input? What's the thing? Quantity. What need to be behind the scene to calculate it? What's the calculation you need to do by the computer? That's right. Price times quantity, that come out with what? Yes. All right. So I'm glad you understand that. Let's continue right now. So we already recognize we need a product class. And we also know that the quantity is not the attributes. Now we're going to see the line number right now. The line number right there, actually you have a product. And the quantity of the product, okay? And the total will be calculated behind the scene. So there are 3 line item objects. There are 3. Each line item class. So there are 3 objects. 3 objects, toaster, hair dryer. If you buy 4 items, 4 objects. So I need to have line item class. The line item class actually record the product class and the quantity of the product. The product toaster class is toaster $29.95. You purchase 3. All right. So the total and amount due are computed, not stored anywhere. They don't need to be a class. When you do a calculation, it's not in class. After this process eliminate, we have 4 candidate class right now. Invoice, address, line item, product. Do you understand? All right. So we decide we're going to have 4 classes to do this one. There's always have a main class to drive others. All right. So there's always a main class to drive others put together. So what do you think? Which one you want to be the main class? Anybody? Anybody? So I have invoice, I have an address, line item, and product. And go back to take a look at this picture right now. Invoice. Thank you. So now you already identified 4 classes. And invoice is the leader. Understand that right now? All right, so we identify the nouns, identify classes from our invoice paper. Okay, I hope you understand the process of pick up the correct candidate of the classes now.